Hello everybody and welcome back. Now today it's a deck profile, but it's definitely more of a kind of a deck theory. Now this is an idea I've been sitting on since Time Tearing Morganite came out. Never got around to making the video kind of for the deck. And then with this most recent ban list, Engage coming to 2, kind of realized that the Hornet Drone's kind of Sky Striker engine is just another piece to this puzzle that kind of makes this deck work. So this is going to be gadgets, pretty much pure gadgets. It's definitely a control deck, and I will start by saying, like, definitely this is not optimized kind of at all. It's a very rough kind of draft, and certainly if you've got suggestions, please let me know. This is something that I've just been kind of working on, throwing together, and definitely I would be welcome to any and all feedback to kind of improve the deck, make it better. But I'll show you what I've got to start with. The monsters, I've gone so far for 3 of the gadgets, which definitely sounds bricky initially. However, what I will say is that this deck is very much a 2-card combo deck. You need one of these gadgets plus another monster or another extender, I guess, to go with them. And they would be things like gold and silver, which I'm only playing at 2, because at the moment, I mean, on their own, they do nothing. They need one of these gadgets. You'll see some of the other cards, but that go with it. But actually, I could put them out. So we've got the 9 gadgets that we want to see at least one of, and then we want to see one of these other cards. So whether it's one of the gold or silvers, Time Tearing Morganite is a card that we can see as an option, and then the last 3 options are the 2 Engage or 1 Hornet Drone. So we want to draw one of the top row, one of the second row, and we are happy with that. That's what then allows us to play the game. One on its own really doesn't do anything for us, so we do need one of each. So that's why I haven't gone 3 gold, 3 silver, and then 2 of each of these, because opening these is actually really important. So I think in older gadget lists, you would see 3 of each of these, and then 2 of the regular gadgets, but really you've got to see one or the other, and gold and Time Tearing don't work together. They really need one of each. So there's 10, 9, plus we're playing Prosperity, just to kind of round it out for consistency. I will show kind of like, I guess, a combo as to how this all works. It's really not much of a combo. It's just summon Baguska and sit on that. And Baguska at the moment is definitely the game plan. So I'll go into the rest of the cards that we're playing. Now, Time Tearing Morganite, if you're not aware, I'll just bring it back here really quick. It applies an effect for the whole duel that you cannot activate monster effects in the hand. So that's your common hand traps. And then you draw 2 instead of 1 for your normal draw in your draw phase, and then you can conduct 2 normal summons per set. So the really cool synergy with Time Tearing and the gadgets is that Time Tearing and 1 gadget, I could activate Time Tearing, normal red, search yellow, normal yellow, search green, make Baguska, and that's very straightforward. Then for the following turn, I've got green, which represents now a rank 4, because Time Tearing gives me 2 normal summons every turn, and I'm drawing 2 cards to begin my next turn, plus whatever else I have in my hand. Now, Time Tearing Morganite certainly presents itself to help control decks that don't rely on hand traps as such to break boards and be non-engine. Definitely drawing trap cards feels really good. And the fact that the gadgets recur the engine alongside Time Tearing is really cool. I think it's a really neat interaction. You're always getting a rank 4 every turn just by normally 1 gadget alongside Time Tearing Morganite, of course. And then the longer the duel goes, obviously you're going to draw 2 cards every turn, which hopefully the game, we don't want it to go for too long, but in the longer the game goes, the more likely we are to win. I'm playing 1 Regulus. Now, Regulus does not work under Time Tearing Morganite, but we are playing the Merrymaker into Sargus into Zeus, because that just gives us, it's the only really way to get a 4 material Zeus in like a rank 4 deck. So Regulus as a kind of free ad is nice. And obviously if we're not under time tearing Morganite, then it's a benefit because we get to then have the negate, and we're not going to be under the effects of time tearing every single game. So there's going to be a lot of games where Regulus is live and you're just putting a free negate onto the board for no reason. Just when you try to make Zeus. I'm playing one Eagle Booster. This is just an additional target for engage. So if you draw in multiples, or if you've already got access to like time tearing plus a gadget and you don't really need the engage to get the Hornet drones, you can grab the Eagle Booster, and then you've got a Baguska that's now just totally at towers and floodgating your opponent, and they're having a terrible time while you're having a half decent time. Then the rest of the deck is kind of trap cards. These first 9, not a trap card, but it's Book of Moon, are our kind of going second options. So we've got Book of Moon, Evenly Matched, and Imperm, because these all work under time tearing. I don't know what the hand trap lineup and things like that is going to look like with this new format, as I mentioned in my most recent video, but these are all just solid cards, so they work under time tearing as well. They should be decent, but we'll see. Then the last 8 slots, and this is, I'm really unsure about what these 8 slots should be, and certainly if anyone has some advice or feedback, they can definitely let me know. But currently I'm playing 2 Trap Trick, 2 Daruma Cannon, 2 Ice Dragon's Prison, and 2 Dimensional Barrier. So these 8 slots, 7 slots would get us to 40 cards. This is 41, but these 8 cards can be realistically any kind of decent trap cards. They can be really anything. So this is just what I've been running with at the moment, and it's fine. Trap cards are okay. But yeah, they're the 8 cards that I'm currently working with. Similarly, the extra deck is definitely not optimized. Part of me wants to be running a second Baguska, just because it is our kind of main win condition. But now with, the extra deck kind of a bit safer from like Kashtira, you could probably get away with one and just try and just kill the opponent on the next turn. Tornado Dragon, Abyss Dweller, these are just decent rank 4s. These, like Silent on an Arc, these are, again, some of these are probably not correct choices. I just realized I took Double or Nothing out of the deck, but this is still in here. So these could be something else. That was just a mishap there, but I think this is just cheesy, so why not play it? Could even throw in the Double or Nothing again, but and then I've got Merrymaker, Sargus, and Zeus. This is crazy. Always hits hard. That's the Xyz monsters, and then one Platinum Gadget. I played 2 probably, but I think I sold my Platinum Gadgets when they were getting a bit pricey, so I realized I've only got one. Also, I'll put this here, Bujinki. It kind of does the job of Platinum Gadget. If you have like silver and a gadget, Bujinki is live, because you can summon the gadget you searched off the one you summoned with silver, and then you get a link to in Bujinki and a rank 4. And if you summon something like Tornado Dragon, so Bujinki, I think in like a control matchup against something like Labyrinth, specifically when going first, but if they set the Fortress of 5 back row, and you had gone into Bujinki knowing the matchup after, let's say it was game 2 or 3, Bujinki into Tornado Dragon pops 2 back row, which is pretty solid. And then Orsa is just my last kind of option. And then the last 3 cards are Kagari, Hayate, and Shizuku, which I'm sure I own somewhere, but don't currently have it on me. But they're the link monsters. Orsa, I guess, could be interesting in that you could bring back a Fenrir or something like that, which sounds pretty good, but that's probably its only real application. Could be something else. Definitely the Xyz monsters. I mean, Utopia Double and Utopia, these could easily be, Unicorn, Abramax, or Access Code Talker, something like that. Just so you got kind of another win button instead of Utopia Double. It's probably a decent call because, again, you've always got cards in hand with the gadgets because they're always recurring themselves and going +1. But that's the extra deck. And now I'll just kind of, show you really simply how the deck works with some combos. So rather than combos, I'll do it as test hands, and then, you know, as we kind of see things that are important to talk about, we'll talk about them, and I'll show you kind of just the general idea of how the deck works. But like I said, we kind of have to see one gadget and one extender. Otherwise, the deck doesn't really do much, which it's not a meta deck by any means, but definitely an interesting one for locals or something like that. So we've got Prosperity, Evenly Matched, Eagle Booster, Imperm, and Engage. So obviously at the moment this hand is doing nothing. Engage gets us to Platinum Gadget. So if we can Prosperity for a gadget, then we are pretty happy with that. So we could go Prosperity. From here, probably banish. We're going to have to keep the Sky Striker cards. I mean, whatever they represent in the deck doesn't really matter. 5 and 6. Depending on what we're going up against, of course. And then we just really want to see our gadget. 3, 4, 5, 6. We can call it bad shuffling, but obviously we didn't see a gadget there. So we are just going for Platinum Gadget, set Imperm, and Eagle Booster. Obviously we can grab one of these cards. We probably actually just take the Time Tearing Morganite, because it just really depends. Like if we think that the Imperm Eagle Booster evenly is going to be enough through, like, you know, obviously keeping the Platinum Gadget alive, then Time Tearing is going to like kind of help us get back into it. So we'll take Time Tearing in this instant. I'll just if you haven't seen how the Sky Striker engine works, I'll just quickly show that as well. But we're going to obviously activate Time Tearing Morganite. Then we're going to engage. We get a token, turn the token into Kagari. Kagari is going to, we're going to engage, adds Hornet Drones. You can tell I'm not a Sky Striker player typically. Engage for Hornet Drones. Hornet Drones then gets Kagari, adds back Hornet Drones. We can link the Kagari into the Hayate, Hornet Drones again, turn the token into Shizuku, and then turn the 2, because they're both machines, into Platinum Gadget. And then we're going to set Imperm Eagle Booster and hope for the best. Probably not looking too good though. This obviously keeps the Platinum Gadget alive, depending on what our opponent has. It's not going to be able to destroy by battle either, so hopefully it's sticking around, because we've got 4 spells. Imperm's just going to do something, but obviously they're going to disappear. Platinum Gadget probably survives, and then we get to draw 2 cards. And obviously this is a dead card, but we didn't draw any gadgets, so we kind of needed to draw a gadget there to be able to play the game. So in all there, that was not the strongest first test hand, but we will try again and see if we can make something better happen. Okay, and this time we have Trap Trick, Dimensional Barrier, Prosperity, Red Gadget, and Evenly Matched. So the hand looks okay for now. We'll probably just Prosperity for 6 again, so same 6 I took out last time. Time Tearing Morganite would be crazy. 4, 5, 6. Oh my goodness, that's 2 terrible tests in a row. From here, we're just going to grab something else to kind of keep us alive. We potentially grab like the Book of Moon, perhaps. Ice Dragons, Imperm. We've already got Trap Trick to kind of grab one of those, depending on what the opponent would be playing. So we can grab the Book of Moon just as something different. We're going to normal the Red Gadget, search yellow, set the cards, and probably lose, if we're being real. But yeah, definitely if you've got any feedback or advice that you would like to kind of share. I think the deck is really cool. It's got a really like interesting concept. Time Tearing Morganite's a really cool card. The Sky Striker engine is nice. Like looping the gadgets over and over just feels consistent. But obviously, you know, the 2-card combo, trying to get that to happen is not always going to pay off, and hasn't paid off for us yet. Gold, silver, and gold. So again, unfortunate. I mean, at least in this hand, we're going to get to Baguska. So it's going to be normal, special silver, And that's how you make Baguska, everybody. 2 level 4s. Up in the extra monster zone. Set 2 and pass. But of course, we're relying on top decking something good, and that's not going to do it. So, once Baguska goes down, then we're going to be in trouble. Hopefully, if we can get a couple of turns out of it, then we play the game. But yeah, not great test hands to be showing. Just once, can we see starter and extender? Evenly, silver, imperm, red and green. Okay, so 2 this time, but that's okay. So from here, we can normal silver. Silver's effects, we can special red, red search yellow. And then in this hand, we don't really have any way to go further than Baguska, so this would just be Baguska set imperm. We've got evenly, but we do at least have gadgets as follow-up, but they're only single monsters. Really, getting to time tearing or the engage, like, definitely are better than silver gadget, hence why silver and gold are down at 2 copies, just because they're probably the least impactful of the extenders. Time tearing being the best one. There we go, there's time tearing. Can we pair it with one of 9 gadgets? We can. All right, and we've got the engage as well, which is nice because we don't really need the Hornet drones now with this hand. We can use this to grab the Eagle Booster to kind of keep our guys alive. So we go time tearing, normal green, green adds red, second normal summon on red, red searches yellow. So then now for the rest of the duel, we're drawing 2 cards each normal summon, each turn. We get 2 normal summons. So each gadget just represents really strong follow-up. We're making Baguska up in the extra monster zone so that Eagle Booster can keep it alive, and we're setting 3. And so this is a lot stronger. If we sequence it right, obviously we could, try and use the Book of Moon a bit more preemptively, just to put the 3 spells in grave, and then we've got Eagle Booster to make our Baguska immune, and we should just be winning from there. Because then obviously going into the next turn, let's hypothetically, we've used the imperm, we've used the Eagle Booster, this detaches for its maintenance. We're drawing 2 cards. Not necessarily strong, but we can obviously flip to attack normal yellow, search green, and obviously we don't know depending on what the board state is, of course. Kind of play the game from there, but each turn we get a rank 4 and kind of progress from there. But yeah, so that's that hand. We'll see if we can just do a couple more quick test hands and try and get something more playable. So we've got gold gadget, yellow gadget, engage, yellow gadget, and dimensional barrier. So in this hand, again, we've got the engage line here, so we activate engage, grab Hornet drones, the Hornet drone play, so it's Hornet drones, get a token, turn it into Kagari, add back Hornet drones, link into Hayate, Hornet drones for that second token, make Shizuku, link them both off for Platinum Gadget, and then from here, we don't even need to use the gold gadget, really. I mean, we haven't normal summoned yet, we haven't used Platinum Gadget's effect either. So we've got 3 bodies. We don't need 3 bodies though. So we can hold the gold and we can Platinum Gadget summon out yellow, grab green, normal the green because we haven't normal summoned, grab red, and then make Baguska with those. And set D-Barrier. Now obviously this plays into Nibiru. Yeah, that is what it is. Doing the Sky Striker line does do that, but having Platinum Gadget and Baguska is nice because if your opponent is able to out Platinum Gadget, for example, it just floats into any gadget from the deck. So depending on what the follow-up situation looked like, and we've already got, you know, plenty of monsters in hand to kind of continue playing the game. Platinum Gadget floats into a gadget, which is just free, so it's okay. And then Baguska is going to hopefully shut down our opponent as well. But that's the deck. Definitely, like I said, if you've got any feedback or advice, I would love to hear it. It's a really, like I said, it's a fun concept. Really like the idea, and if there's any ways to improve it, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one.